Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle. Recently, Rick McDonnell posted his video announcing Booktube Spin number 4. And I really enjoy these Booktube Spins. If you don't know what that is, he announces when they're going to be. You choose 20 books, number them 1 through 20, and on the date that he announces, this time October 6th, he spins a wheel, and whatever number comes up, that's the book you're going to read. And so it's just a really fun way to choose a book to read. So he's doing them quarterly, so you have 3 months to read the book that's chosen. He may choose 2, it depends. Last time he chose 2, this time he left it up to his viewers to vote. So we will find out if he's going to do 1 or 2 books. But these are the 20 that I have chosen. I chose them off of my cart. Some of them have been on the cart for a really long time, and others not so much. I just kind of chose randomly 20 books off of that cart. So let's just dive right into this. I have In the Roar of the Sea by S. Baring Gould. This was published in 1892, and it is a tale of mystery and intrigue on the wild, windswept coast of Cornwall. That sounds awesome. And this is King Solomon's Mines by H. Rider Haggard. This is from 1885, and it is a story of treasure, war, and wild adventure. That sounds good too. I have Scaramouche by Rafael Sabatini. This was published in 1921, and it is a romance of the French Revolution. Murder at Tamburlaine by Elaine Dollery. This is from 1998. A mysterious caller at the bursar's house, an eerie message from the past, a sudden outbreak of influenza with a tragic consequence, the inexplicable death of the bursar's wife. Things are not what they should be at Tamburlaine Manor School, and Inspector Masters and Sergeant Smith fear much worse is in the offing. It says that the author has written a brilliant homage to the literary form which once dominated the fiction best-selling lists. Plotted with minute skill, an eye to the telling detail, and elegantly written, this book reinvents a classic genre, the English whodunit. Interesting. The Seeker by S.J. MacLean. This is a recent purchase for me. This is the winner of the 2015 Crime Writers Association Historical Dagger Award, London 1654. And we have an agent, the Lord Protector's most feared agent, Damien Seeker. So this is when Cromwell is in power. And this one just sounds like a great historical mystery. All right, next up is The Scapegoat by Daphne du Maurier. I don't have the dust jacket on this one. This is from 1956. An Englishman meets his double, a French aristocrat, while visiting France and is forced into changing places with him. Awesome. Red Bones by Anne Cleeves. This is from 2009, and it's the 3rd in her Shetland series, or the Jimmy Perez series. An elderly woman is shot in a tragic accident, and Jimmy Perez is called to investigate. So yeah. And then next up we have A Fine Red Rain by Stuart M. Kaminsky. This is from 1987. It is set in Moscow during the Soviet era. The veteran, Rostnik. This isn't going well. Rostnikov, once a hero in the Great War against fascism, recently demoted after 2 frequent clashes with the KGB. Someone is killing the stars of the Moscow circus, and it's up to Rostnikov to stop the bloody show. The innocent, Sasha. He looks more like a kid than a cop, which makes him the perfect undercover to penetrate an elusive black market network. with well-buried links to KGB corruption. The heat is on, as much on Sasha as on the entrepreneurial underground. It's his job to explode. The plotter. Carpo. Intelligent, determined, unimaginative, feared by criminals with good reason. A deadly stalker threatens the prostitutes of the city. Carpo thinks he sees a pattern. He knows he'll find the murderer. I've never read anything by Stuart M. Kaminsky, but I think this is fascinating because it's set in Russia during the Soviet era. All right, and then we have The Chuckling Finger by Mabel Seeley. This is from 1941. All right, in The Chuckling Fingers, she presents the story of the weird and strange events which beset the Heaton family, Minnesota lumber tycoons, at their remote pine-grown estate on Lake Superior. But let Mabel Seeley introduce her story herself. Other people may think they'd like to live their lives over, but not me. Not if this last week is going to be in it. Out of what has just happened at the Fingers, both Jacqueline and I got something worth keeping. But heaven defend me from ever again having to stand helplessly by while it becomes more and more apparent to almost everyone but me, that the person I love most in the world is murderously insane. I never again want to know the panic of being up against evil coming out of a mind so much more skillful than mine, that even the signs we did see, the acid in the bride's toilet kit, the burned matchsticks under a bed, the words scrawled with a child's blue chalk on the rock, all just bogged us deeper in terror and despair. That sounds good. And then we have The Royal Box by Frances Parkinson Keyes. I also don't have the dust cover for that one. This is from 1954. Politics, intrigue, and the affairs of high society were all at home in the Royal Box. But on the evening Lady Laura Whitford secured the theatre's most prestigious seats for her entourage, murder made its debut. Lady Laura's social coup was upstaged by a meticulous killer who transformed the glittering theater party into principals in an offstage drama with international repercussions. Okay, City of Dark Hearts by James Conan. This is from 2008. A glittering new world hides a terrible truth. It is 1893 and Anna Zemeckis, a young New Yorker, goes missing in America's most dangerous city, Chicago. Home to the World's Fair, Chicago is a city of glitz and razzmatazz, a city intoxicated by its own spectacular wealth. But beneath the sophisticated facade lies a sinister underworld of pornography, prostitution, and violence. It's a lethal place for the weak or vulnerable, and Anna isn't the first young woman to disappear without trace. Emily Strauss, an inexperienced but ambitious reporter from the New York World, is given a treacherous assignment to find out what happened to Anna and to the other missing women. Against a punishing deadline, alone in a dangerous and unfamiliar world, she faces a near impossible task, and she soon discovers a powerful enemy. And One for the Dead by Pierre Audemars. This is from 1975. The alarming ring of the telephone in the dead of night awakened Monsieur Panot to scandal. A pretty housemaid had been bludgeoned to death in the bed of Monsieur le Chef. Panot's superior, the famed chief of the Paris police, has been thrown quite unceremoniously into jail. Pinot's superb sense of detection convinced him the crime was a clever frame, but a feast of fine food and wine, coupled with a connoisseur's appreciation of Monsieur le Chef's young wife, landed Pinot in a fix of his own, for the leading suspect in this crime of passion was the lovely Laurette, the beautiful object of his desire. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper by Pamela West. London, 1888. This book was written in 1987. On August 31st, Inspector John West was first called into London's evil quarter mile to examine the horribly mutilated body of Marianne Polly Nichols, a prostitute. Her throat had been cut, her organs ripped out, and most strangely, there was no blood. For 10 weeks, a serial killer would butcher the streetwalkers of Whitechapel, taunting Scotland Yard with letters signed, "Yours truly, Jack the Ripper." Was he a vampire, a religious fanatic, a thrill seeker? Inspector West would doggedly track down this inhuman killer right into an official cover-up so well engineered, so shocking, that a century later, Jack the Ripper's true identity can only now be revealed in a spellbinding, wickedly clever novel. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is from 1992. It is set on a college campus in New England. And this is a pretty popular book on Booktube, and I have never read it. So that's on there. We also have The King's Royal by John Quigley. This is from 1975. The bitter family struggles, illicit passions, and checkered fortunes of a Scottish dynasty. A tempestuous narrative that sweeps from the beauty of the Highlands to the gloom of Victorian Glasgow. Black Swine in the Sewers of Hampstead. Beneath the Surface of Victorian Sensationalism by Thomas Boyle. This is the only non-fiction in this list. This is from 1989. I had forgotten about this book. It was on my cart, and I had intended to read it for Victober and then just totally forgot about it. So this is on the list because I do want to read this. So yeah, he's just looking at sensationalism during the Victorian period. And we have Sweet Thames by Matthew Neal. This is from 1992. London in the summer of 1849. With a deadly cholera epidemic threatening, young engineer Joshua Jevons is convinced it is his mission to save the capital and reform its festering sewers. Meanwhile, in his domestic life, he is troubled by the baffling coldness shown towards him by his beautiful new bride, Isabella. As he struggles to win her round, he works feverishly on a revolutionary drainage plan. This is his dream, his dazzling vision of the future, a London free of effluent. Then a sudden and mystifying disappearance throws his whole life upside down. He is forced to embark on a harrowing search which plucks him from his respectable life and throws him into a London previously unknown to him. Another world of slum dwellers, pickpockets, and scavengers of the sewers. He will find it is this very world that holds unexpected answers to the mysteries that surround him. The Shadowy Horses by Susanna Kearsley. This is from 1997. With its dark legends and passionate history, the windswept shores of Scotland are an archaeologist's dream. Verity Gray is thrilled by the challenge of uncovering an ancient Roman campsite in a small village, but as soon as she arrives, she can sense danger in the air. Her eccentric boss, Peter Quinnell, has spent his whole life searching for the resting place of the lost 9th Roman Legion and is convinced he's finally found it. Not because of any scientific evidence, but because a local boy has seen a Roman soldier walking in the fields, a ghostly sentinel who guards the bodies of his long-dead comrades. Surprisingly, Verity believes in Peter and the boy, and even in the sentinel, who seems determined to become her own protector. But from what? I love Susanna Kearsley, so I really hope, I want all of these. I want to read all of these, but I hope this one gets picked because I think it's the perfect time of year to read this one. Bedlam by Laura Jo Rowland. The Further Secret Adventures of Charlotte Bronte. This was published in 2010. With the death of her siblings and far from home, Charlotte has few people to trust. Struggling with romantic entanglements and her stressful rise to prominence on the literary scene, she is more alone than ever. While visiting London, Charlotte goes on a tour of Bedlam. She is sure she recognizes a struggling Mr. Slade, her long-missing ex-lover, strapped to one of the stretchers. Charlotte starts digging and soon finds herself trying to reveal a secret that high-powered men would and do kill to prevent. It is up to Charlotte to find the truth and expose a plot of global proportions. But what if the conspirators get to her first? Wow. I haven't read the first one in this series. This is the one that I have, so we'll start here. And then finally, The Black Tower by Louis Bayard. This is from 2008. And it's got this great map of Paris on the end papers. Vidocq. The name strikes terror in the Parisian underworld of 1818. As founder-in-chief of a newly created plainclothes police force, Vidocq has used his mastery of disguise and surveillance to capture some of France's most notorious and elusive criminals. Now he is hot on the trail of a tantalizing mystery, the fate of the young Dauphin, Louis Charles, son of Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI. So there you have it. Those are my 20 books for Booktube Spin number 4. Once Rick spins the wheel on October 6th, I will pin a comment below just to let you know which books are chosen for this spin. Have you read any of these books? I would love to chat with you about them in the comment section down below, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.